It's been a long, productive season here at the patch, with nice warm days and warm nights. We've been harvesting bucket loads of delicious organic food, so it's a good time to take stock of what's in the ground, what's finishing up, and the crops that have been through in the past, so you can better plan what needs to go in next. That's where crop rotation comes in. I've set up this area at the corner of the patch to show you how it works. I've selected a 4-bed rotation system, but you can go for less or more, depending on your site and your needs. Put simply, crop rotation is about splitting your crops up into different groups depending on what nutrients they draw out of the soil and what pests and diseases attack them. I've divided this area up into 4 groups: roots, fruit, leaves and legumes, but you can tailor one that works for you. For me, it's as simple as not putting the same plant in the same soil season after season. First up, my root bed. I'm going to put mainly carrots, but I'm going to get a cheeky little crop of potatoes in there as well. If you're starting out on new soil, both of these crops can be really good. Potatoes for breaking up clay soil, and your taproots like your carrots and your parsnips for drawing nutrient that's hidden deep in your soil profile. Bed 2, legumes. These are your peas and your beans. This amazing group of plants grabs nitrogen from the atmosphere and fixes it on nodules on their roots. So I always follow up a crop of legumes with a heavy feeder like brassicas or leafy greens that really benefit from that nitrogen hit. Now I've got 2 types of peas to plant today, climbers and bush. So I've prepared the ground in exactly the same way. A bit of lime and then bucket loads of compost. Large seeds like peas are very attractive to rodents and birds. The rule of thumb is go twice as deep as the seed is big, but I like to go a little bit deeper, up to the 2nd knuckle of my finger. Bed 3, leaves. That's things like spinach, silver beet, your brassicas, and of course, lettuce. And in this bed, I'm going to plant some kale and some lettuce. Bearing in mind that brassicas like kale are heavy feeders, so it's good to follow your legume crop that fixes nitrogen into the soil with a heavy crop like your brassicas. I like to use lettuce followed up after a root crop like potatoes that break up that heavy soil, and the fibrous roots of the lettuce help to break it up that little bit more. Because it's a hot day and they're seedlings, I'm keeping them wet as I go. Now lastly, the fruiting bed. Because I'm in a cool climate and a lot of our crops like tomatoes, capsicum, zucchini and pumpkin are all finishing up for the season, I'm going to take this opportunity to plant a green manure crop. This is a crop usually made up of legumes that you put in the ground and then dig back through to improve your soil. This means that next season when I come along to plant my fruiting crop, they'll go gangbusters with all the goodness in the soil. Now because this basically looks like bird feed, I like to go through and get a bit of compost and just sprinkle over the top, just to cover it up, and this will stop the blackbirds and any other ground-feeding birds from hopefully digging them up and eating them. Crop rotation should be coupled with good observation. You should be reacting to what's going on in your garden, and your plan should be flexible enough to suit your situation. Figure out what crops you want to grow, group those crops, and then make sure that you don't plant them in the same soil season after season or year after year. Practicing crop rotation will make your gardening easier and more successful. Best of luck, and I'll see you next time.